All right, let's get right into it. We're going to explore our constant, and I mean constant, digital connection and what it's doing to our minds. Are we ever really off anymore, even when our screens are? We're going to look at that mental background noise that just seems to follow us everywhere. You know that feeling, right? That little buzz in your pocket, a phantom vibration, and you might just laugh it off, but it's way more than just a little trick your mind is playing on you. It's actually a huge clue that our subconscious is basically on standby 24/7, just waiting for that next digital ping.
So yeah, if this happens to you, you are definitely not alone. This feeling, it's a symptom of a much bigger shift. It suggests that our brains are actually creating a new default setting, one that's hardwired for constant connectivity in this crazy digital world we live in. Okay, so first up, let's really look at how our brains are adapting to this world of just endless notifications. We're kind of shifting from a state of deep, focused thought to a state of perpetual scanning. And believe me, that has some real consequences.
Do any of these sound a little too familiar? Research shows that a lot of us check our phones about every 10 minutes, and many of us feel a real, genuine anxiety when we're separated from our devices. But here's the kicker. All this multitasking isn't making us more efficient. Nope. In fact, studies show that heavy multitaskers are actually worse at filtering out what doesn't matter. So the crucial point is this. When our focus is constantly split, our ability to truly learn something, to really remember it, it gets weaker. Our brains need a clear signal that a piece of information is important enough to store, and that signal just gets lost in the noise of constant distraction.
All right, so now let's see how this whole mental shift is being mirrored by the technology itself, because it's not an accident. Companies are now intentionally designing tech that merges our physical and digital worlds, and they do it so seamlessly we often don't even notice.
The key word here, the one you really need to remember, is enhances. Augmented reality, or AR, doesn't try to replace your reality. It adds digital layers right on top of it. Think of it like a digital lens that literally changes how you see and interact with the world right in front of you.
And this is the critical difference, right? With AR, like when you're using an Instagram filter or playing Pokemon Go, your feet are still planted firmly in the real world. VR, on the other hand, that's all about transportation. It's designed to take you somewhere else entirely, to literally replace your reality.
And this is another brilliant way those lines are being blurred. Gamification takes real-world tasks at work, in an app, wherever, and slaps game mechanics on them. Points, badges, leaderboards. The whole goal is to keep our brains hooked and motivated by merging the norms of the real world with the reward systems of a virtual one. It conditions us to accept a reality that's been digitally tweaked to guide our behavior.
But when we get used to accepting a digitally altered reality, what happens when those alterations aren't designed to just motivate us, but to flat-out deceive us? This blurring of lines, it has a really dark side, and it's led to a technology that can undermine the very foundation of trust itself, the deepfake.
Now, this isn't just some clever photo editing. Deepfakes use really sophisticated artificial intelligence to create totally new, fabricated content that is becoming scarily realistic. And what's more, the tools to create them, they're becoming more and more accessible to pretty much everyone.
Now, what's really wild about this is just how methodical the process is. A bad actor doesn't need a Hollywood studio anymore. All they need is publicly available data, photos from your social media, videos of you speaking, and some AI tools. They use that to create a believable fake, which can then be spread instantly online, where our perpetually scanning, always-on minds are just primed to react first and ask questions later. This number, it's just staggering, and it reveals the most common and devastating use of this technology today. While we worry a lot about political deepfakes, the overwhelming reality is that this tech is being weaponized to create non-consensual pornography, and it primarily victimizes women.
This quote from activist Noel Martin just brings the terrifying personal cost right home. It's not some abstract threat. It is a profound violation that has lifelong effects on a person's reputation, their career, and their mental well-being.
So, in a world where seeing is no longer believing, how in the world do we fight back? How do we reclaim reality when our own eyes and our own ears can be so easily tricked?
Look, the solution is not simple. It's going to require us to fight on two fronts. First, we need to strengthen our own minds against this kind of digital manipulation. And at the exact same time, we have to build better technological and social systems to protect everyone.
On a personal level, we can absolutely fight back.
we can reclaim our focus by consciously pushing back against all that distraction. Simple things, right? Spending time in nature, reading an actual physical book, getting regular exercise, these have all been proven to boost our cognitive health and build resilience against this always-on culture.
And as a society, we've got to build the infrastructure of trust. That means creating open source tools to detect fakes, developing systems like digital watermarks to verify what's authentic, and, this one's crucial, educating everyone to become more critical consumers of the media they see online.
Ultimately, this is the question we're all left with. Our greatest defense? It might not be some new app or fancy algorithm. It might just be a renewed, conscious commitment to critical thinking, to media literacy, and to a shared understanding that our trust in each other, well, that's something worth fighting for.